Hey guys, welcome back to third video in this series. In this video, we are going to talk about the CIA Triad. I know I have mentioned it a couple of times, so let's finally get into it. What it is, how it is relevant for the cybersecurity, how it is relevant for the blue team. And I'm not only going to talk about the theoretical terms, I'm going to show you some practical, technical example, how it adds value to the cybersecurity. With that, let's get started. Thank you. Okay guys, let's get started. Let me share my screen and let's finally talk about CIA Triad. I know I mentioned it a couple of times, but it's finally time for us to understand. Okay, I'm going to talk about in this video, which is the third installment of this series, what is the CIA Triad, why does it matter, and why it is important for cybersecurity and from business perspective as well. Okay, so let's get started. So let me explain to you what is the CIA Triad. CIA is built by three words. C stand for confidentiality, I for integrity, A for availability. So think like this, all the components in security resolve around these three words. Okay, let me give you an example. From business perspective, think about any company. Let's take example of one of my favorite company, Amazon.com. So in case of Amazon, right? If we want to talk about CIA Triad, what is important for them? For them, it is important that whatever their next move, business plan, what data they share with their vendor, how much they pay to sellers, or whatever their secret information. So they want to make sure that that information remain confidential. No one else can touch that information. For an example, CEO has the very confidential document. He doesn't want anyone to read that document. It has to be a confidential, only available for those people who are authorized to access this. So that's a confidential. That's one of the best. That's the one of the requirement for the Amazon CEO to achieve from the cybersecurity team. Then integrity, right? So whatever information is there, so you have like some information which is very crucial in a document or anywhere. Let's say your secret business plan. Let's take a let's take a guess that you have some secret formula and you want to make sure that nobody can change it, right? So that's called integrity. So whatever the information is there, no one should be able to tamper it or change it in any manner. That's the integrity. Availability. So whatever the resources, what my business does is that should be available all the time, right? If let's say Amazon.com main business is that it should be up and running all the time. So whenever customer need to buy any product, they can go to Amazon.com. But what if Amazon.com is not working? It is down for any reason, for the cyber attacker do it, or it could be anything. If it is down, means we have impacted the third right, which is the most crucial, right? So these are the three most pillar in the cybersecurity, where we do all the planning and all the risk analysis, all the investment, right? Now, how do we achieve those? So confidentiality, to achieve the confidentiality, we use the encryptions. Encryptions means that you encrypt the data. So if you get the hold of that document, you open it, you will see the encrypted information. You cannot find the actual information. So that is achieved by the integrity. That is achieved by the encryption. And for the integrity, how do we achieve it? We use the hashing, right? Hashing is not an encryption. There are a lot of people I know, they always get confused between the encryption and the hashing. And it is, by the way, one of the most popular interview question. What is the difference between encryption and hashing? Hashing is something, let's say you have one important information that is written in one document. So you run the hashing algorithm against that document. It will calculate one string value for that hash, right? Some hexadecimal decimal form number, and that number is once generated. After that, if you go into that document, even make a capital to small any word, even alphabet, and again you run that algorithm. So this time hashing value would be different. So this way a business can identify that information has been tampered, somebody has changed it. Okay, that's integrity. I hope it's clear to you now. The availability, right? How do we achieve the availability? So there are a lot of planning goes on for availability, right? Availability means uh, how do we achieve it? Redundancy, like building the cluster and doing that you can handle the workload. How the cyber criminal disrupt the availability? So you have heard the terms like DOS, DDoS. What does it mean? That you generated the computer automated traffic that much that your business, your Amazon.com could not handle that load. You get like million requests per second, and that ended up getting your site down. So for that, what you do, redundancy, you do like DDoS production, you do rate limiting, traffic limiting. There are a lot of controls available, but just in bottom line, you can achieve by the redundancy, right? That's the one thing that you can do. Okay. What is the CIA Triad? I already talked about. I think I don't have to repeat. Confidentiality, integrity, availability. Confidentiality means prevent unauthorized access. Integrity means ensure data isn't tampered. Okay. Availability, keep system operational. Okay. Why it matters for SOC? So whatever the planning that we do or detect the cyber criminal, we want to make sure that none of these pillar CIA get impacted. So we want to detect in advance, we want to respond in advance before it could either impact any of these pillar for a business and company. Okay. Real breach example, right? There are thousands or even millions of example available for the data breach, but some I thought I'll give you some example. So for the first one is Yahoo data breach. I don't know if you remember 2014. I think Yahoo suffered 2 or 3 times where all the information, so whosoever the Yahoo the account or the information that was stored on the Yahoo server, like their name, date of birth, address, email address, those were breached during that breach, right? And then most famous recent 2020 SolarWinds attacks. It was like supply chain attacks, means SolarWinds was a product that is used by the multiple organizations. So what happened? Their SolarWinds source code that released the update, somebody tampered that code and they modified that code. So when that next update went for the upgrade of the tool, they were able to breach those companies who were using the SolarWinds, right? WannaCry, the most famous one, which disrupted the availability all across the globe. So what actually it did is, so whatever the system were impacted by the WannaCry, it completely encrypted everything that reside on that computer. The files have everything, which means technically it is unavailable, right, for user. As a user, as an employee, if I work for hospital or for fire department or any department, police department, if I go to office and if my computer is like showing everything is encrypted, that means I could not work. So that technically it impacted the availability pillar of the CIA. Okay. Let me show you the couple of demos so you understand the well. First, let me give you the one of the good article that you can read, which is Yahoo data breach, which talks about how, when it happened, and the how it was hacked. So, in summary, there were like 500 million user accounts were breached, right? They were leaked, and they found some problem with the session IDs. The way they used to store the cookies, that's a different story, but you should read about that breach, so we'll have an idea. So the point I'm trying to make is that breach definitely impacted the confidentiality of the Yahoo, right? So as a consumer, if I cannot trust Yahoo to protect my information, I might move to Gmail, or I might move to Reddit or any other company. Okay. Rediff, what I mean is, So SolarWind attacks, right? There is a very good article which is from Wire. I like that one, but that is only for the members. So if you are okay, if you want to create your member account, then you can read there. But in short, like I told you, SolarWind was compromised by the which turned out to be a cyber supply chain attack, which means all the organization who were using the SolarWind were impacted. So you can go ahead and read about it. WannaCry, I think nothing is better than Wiki. They have a lot of information how and this impacted the all across the globe. So you can go ahead and read about it. Now, this is all theoretical what I have talked about, right? Now there should be a way so you know technically how these things work and what you can do. So I'm going to show you some the good example. Let me increase the font so you can see it. So I'm in my command prompt. You can see currently I'm in the directory users and Mukesh, right? That's my that's the machine that I'm using for the recording. So let's first do one thing. Let's choose a folder where we can create some files. So I'm going to, under the document, I'm going to make a directory, which you can do from the GUI as well. Right click and create new folder, but I am doing from here. So let's call it CIA demo. Okay. And so let me show you what inside this. So right now this is the inside my current directory, but let me go to the newly created CIA demo, right? And if I clear my screen, you can see there is nothing inside this folder. So let us create a file, and I'll show you how you can achieve the confidentiality. Okay. So let's say, let me create a file. So we have a secret file that we do not want to read anyone. So let's say this is my super secret password, which is let's say mango. I love mango. It's a mango season. So then I want to save this into the file called secret dot txt. Now that file has been created. If I read the content of that file, secret, no, so it says this is my super secret password mango. Okay, so now we want to make sure that no hacker, no unauthorized party can see that information. Okay, so for that, what we are going to use is a GPZ utility. You can download it if you don't have on your machine. If you are on Mac, you can use Brew. If you are on Windows, you can just Google it, or GPZ. So it's basically utility that can help you to encrypt any file. So I'm going to type C for asymmetric encryption, and then the file that we want to encrypt. So it's my secret.txt. So if I run this command, it will open this pop-up which says I need to have my passphrase to encrypt this file. So I'm going to set up I'm going to select my super secret passphrase, and then I'm going to retype it. So if we need to ls.la in the folder, so I have now another file which is called secret.txt.gpz. So if I want to read now secret.txt.gpz, it clearly some gibberish, right? You can't read it. That means now the content which was written, this is my super secret mango, it has been encrypted, right? If you want to decrypt it now, how would you go about it? That might be the next obvious question, right? So for that, we use like again GPZ utility. I type -d for decryption, and the file name that I want to decrypt, which is GPZ, which is like an encrypted file. And then I say after decrypting this file, put that information into a file called secret, or let's call it decrypt. Decrypt secret.txt. Okay. Okay. Now let me do LSLA. So now I have another file, right? If I read now decrypted file which has been decrypted, now I can clearly see this is my super secret password Mango. So in short, you can encrypt it, then you can decrypt it. This is like very small, low-level example. Developer and the people who build the application, they use the like symmetric and asymmetric cryptography for encryptions, or like it's a huge topic, but that's for some other time. Right now we are focusing on the basics. Okay, let me clear my screen. That's the example of confidentiality. That's how. That is what I mean by that. How do you achieve the confidentiality? You achieve it by the encryption. Now let's take the example of the integrity. So we are let's say in the same folder. Now I'll create another file which goes by name. Let's say I have integrated information. Let's say a secret formula for how to make Coke, right? Coke has the secret formula that must have been stored somewhere, right? And I want to make sure as a Coke CEO that nobody can modify that formula. Otherwise my product will get messed up, right? No one even like to drink it if we go something here and there. So in my formula is let's say 1 ml water, 2 spoon sugar, and 1 ml let's say soda, or whatever. I mean, it doesn't matter. So I save that information into file called Coke formula .txt, right? So I must have a file now called Coke formula.txt, which is good. Let me read the content of that file. Coke formula .txt. It says 1 ml water, 2 spoon sugar, 1 ml soda. Okay, that's my formula. So now I want to protect that information. So what we can do is, there is something called hashing that we use to protect these kind of information. So what I'm going to show you the demo. So let's say SA256, and which means I'm going to calculate the hash of the file by the SHA-256, the algorithm. Okay. So I say Coke formula.txt. So you see, this is the unique value that this algorithm had generated for this file. So whenever this file return this value, that means it remains same. No one has changed it. Right now we will try to change the Coke formula. So as a Pepsi company, I can go ahead in the market and they are still figure out how the formula got modified or got impacted. So I'm going to VI to edit the file, and I go Coke formula.txt, and here I for insert, I said instead of 2 spoon sugar, we say 8 spoon, right? So it's not good. Obviously, no one would like to have the Coke which has so much sugar. So let me save the changes. Now I'm going to run the same command, SHA-256 Coke formula.266. You see, this hash value is completely different compared to this one. So which means somebody had modified this file. Now, in the same manner, this gets on the high level used in the application to achieve the integrity. Okay. Now availability. I was thinking how can give you an example of good example of the availability. Then I recall one of the the recent project. My son did it, by the way, in the one day, like in one weekend itself. He built the one website full blast, and this is his website. So I'm just going to call out his name and give him credit because this is his. So I'm using from his permission. So we have here you see this one. So I'm going, you don't have to understand this command, but I'll tell you where you need to focus. I start this code application, right? And what it does, this entire project, this website get hosted on the local host. And let me show you on the local host how this work. Okay. So now since I started the virtual environment, and if I hit this one, so it opens this side. So let's say this is very important site that is like needs to be up all the time. It has like couple of pages like testing and all that, home categories and contact, the article, some test article that we have built. Okay, now the site is working, but let's say bad guys or cyber criminal figure out a way to get it down or change the configuration or do anything bad. So I'm that bad guy for now. For an example, I just stop this environment, I go back to my site, and if I hit, it's not working. That's availability issue, right? So as a cybersecurity engineer, we need to protect the availability of the for the business, right? Based on their requirement. I think this is the example of the CIA Triad in real life, and I just wanted to make sure that I give you something hands-on so you understand, you don't forget it. Now let me conclude. Let's conclude our discussion. So wrap up. So what did we learn, right? We learned the CIA Triad, which has like confidentiality, integrity, and availability. And what we saw is like password-based file encryption. And then we saw the Yahoo breach, how that happened. 3 billion accounts were exposed. Integrity has mismatch. If the file get tampered, that means the integrity has been breached. Availability, file deleted or encrypted ransom. I did not take that example. I took the different example. There is a website which was hosted, which the configuration was changed, or because of that site went down. So that's how you achieve the CIA Triad. I hope this has been very informative for you, and now at least you are clear on what is the CIA Triad, how it works, how you can achieve it. And as always, thanks for watching. Thanks, guys.